So I'm watching like one of these news magazine shows on TV, like 60 Minutes or 2020, whatever. And well, remember that plane crash in the 70s when this Uruguayan soccer team was on this airplane that went down in the Andes and then they had to resort to cannibalism to survive? Well, anyway, 40 years later, they interviewed one of the survivors who's actually a doctor. There was 11 survivors, and one of them now is a doctor in Uruguay. Of course he's a doctor. He was 18 at the time. Can you imagine when he got back and it was time to go to college and he did an aptitude test? They said, "Boy, you seem to have quite an aptitude for anatomy. What have you done? Well, I've dabbled in it a little bit. What the what?" And anyway, but he revealed on this interview, it was fascinating. He revealed a whole bunch of interesting details about this, the crash and the pending survival. One thing that I would never have guessed is that once they decided to resort to cannibalism, which was after about 6 weeks when they were all starving, there was actually lots of airline food available. I know, isn't that boy? It must have been terrible. But, it's funny, they say that flying is safer than driving, statistically. The problem, of course, with that is if you're driving from here to Toronto and you run out of gas, then your next question is, where do I get gas? If you're flying from here to Toronto and you run out of gas, your next question is, what part of Bob's ass should I eat first? See, it's way different. But these people waited about 5 weeks. These people that crashed in the Andes, they waited about 5 weeks before they finally decided that, we're going to starve to death and we need to eat we need some sustenance. And so they started to dig in. And I don't know who decides. Like, if it was you, would you wait 5 weeks until you were almost starving? Like, because they knew they weren't going to get rescued. Or would you do, like, for me, because I'm hungry all the time. Like, seriously, I'm hungry right now. If I crashed at 8 in the morning, I think by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock that same evening, I'm looking around going, listen, nobody's coming and I'm quite hungry. Like, would that, I guess that would seem a little weird, eh? Maybe a little too antsy, I guess. Imagine if you did it early, maybe like a week in, and you all agreed on it, because you get that whole kind of mentality, right? That mob mentality. And imagine if you were like digging into a seatmate, and all of a sudden the rescuers came, like just a miracle, and they came. I guess you'd all have to hide, like hiding behind rocks, with partially eaten ribs in your hand or something, And the people go, well, guess there's nobody here. Whew, after they leave, whew, that was a close one. I don't. And how do you decide who to eat? That's the thing too, because certainly you rule people out immediately. You rule out friends and family, right? I mean, just because you can't. And that's fair enough. And then maybe you go to, how much information you have on the person. Like if you go through their pockets and you go, well, this one's on penicillin. It's like, okay, nope. And then coincidentally, guess what? Hey, I've got some information. Coincidentally, I sat beside that guy and he told me he was corn-fed. That's weird. So then you might dig in there. But I mean, I don't know. For me now, when I fly over the mountains, I would just wear a name tag. Hello, my name is Rick. Because that way, if it ever got to the point where there were some survivors and I was one of the deceased and they were ready to eat me, they would look and they go, oh, now we know his name is Rick. Shoot, we can't do it. Well, it's like when we grew up on the farm, right? Didn't we all grow up on the farm? And then you have your pet sheep, right? Your parents buy your pet sheep, and we're going to eat them all, right? And then, but then as soon as you name them, well, then you can't, right? So hey, there, your dad says there's sheep number 1, sheep number 2, what? Esther? What? Oh, who named it Esther? Oh no. All right, honey, you can throw out the mint jelly. And so now this guy that they were interviewing on this news magazine show, when he got back, he was 18 in the prime of his life. He probably wanted to start dating if he hadn't been already. But I think, if some friends were going to set him up with women, it might be tough because, whenever you get set up with someone, they always want to know, let's say I've got a friend and I go, hey, listen, I got this guy. He's 18, soccer player, fit as a fiddle, going to medical school. Just a great guy. And they go, yeah, okay, what's wrong with him? Nothing, really. No, he's a great guy. What? Oh, yeah, no, there's one thing. Yeah, he ate someone. I know, that's a stickler, eh? But this doctor, the guy they interviewed now, he's married and has a family, and life is normal, I guess. Except, can you imagine, if his wife cooks something that he doesn't like, and she makes him something and he kind of, pushes the plate aside and she goes, really? You eat Bob's ass, but you won't eat my meatloaf? Really? Plus, you'd always be known as the dude that ate someone. Like, it wouldn't matter what you did for the rest of your life, right? You know, you want to go golfing with some buddies, and this guy from Uruguay is coming with you. Hey, we're going golfing. We're gonna go with Pedro. You know, the Pedro, he's married to Maria, the good-looking model. You know, they live in the. He's the doctor. No, oh, you'll get it. He's the guy that cured cancer. No way. The dude that ate someone. Oh.